Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Chapter 5, part number 2. I am still joined by Lost Without a Trace, Scorch Days 97, Rayman Gaming, and More Than 56. So, when last we met at the new base, this odd-looking gnome had shown up. And also...
Sparkle Hand!
And also... Morden, or Luther, was in a conversation with Zaram, the leader of the Watch. And he had just said to... He had just asked Luther what their purpose was. What they were going to be doing in this area on the other side of the wall. So, Morden?
We are looking to fill in a map. The more information we have and potentially bring back, the better. But that is what our primary purpose is at the moment.
I would like to interject. He doesn't know we're from beyond the wall yet, right?
No, he does.
Oh, he does. In the very beginning,
Okay.
Lee said that from the beginning.
Okay.
So that's why I'm answering
Sorry
the
about
way
it.
I did. Yep.
I mean... The Asmodean legions aside, I'm pretty sure our two nations are still kind of, sort of, would be at war with each other if we weren't more busy.
That may be correct, but from everything that I understand, they are more concerned about the demons that came through the gate than anybody being here, because I'm pretty sure they didn't know you were still here.
Oh, you mean from your side?
Right.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
As far as I am aware, we were not sure what was going on this side. We just knew that the I'm forgetting it was the red eclipse, correct? That was what it was called?
The Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn, yeah. That the Crimson Dawn originated on this side, and then everything stopped.
So, the Crimson Dawn that you saw was a dimensional portal centered somewhere west and north of the Black Fortress and leagues in diameter.
And the not Luther, this is Morden asking the question.
Okay.
Given the map of the cartographer that I had, that I don't have access to right now because it stays on Cass's.
Right.
But that would match what I believe the center would have been, roughly where the center was. If I was to sit there and draw the circle around the sites, and
as you remember, it
line.
sounds reasonable.
Right. Okay.
Also, he is in a zone of truth.
Right. No, this is because whether he's in a zone of truth or not, it doesn't mean that he couldn't told me the wrong information, because he can believe it even if it's wrong.
Correct.
Because
Also, you don't know whether he says that he voluntarily failed. You don't know whether he did or not, because you're not the caster. But to your knowledge, the things that he says sounds plausible.
Gotcha. All right.
You know that the center was definitely beyond the Black Fortress. Like, it wasn't over the keep, and you know it wasn't between the keep and the gate. So it makes sense that it would be somewhere to the other direction. You don't necessarily remember how far, but yeah, it's the truth as far as the character knows it. Yes.
Exactly.
He is not lying. He is saying what he believes.
Exactly. This is how Luther's getting around most of this.
Yeah.
He's saying what he believes. So I can only assume that the commander is doing the same thing.
Correct.
Yeah. That particular event is what sent my friend on his quest to try and find more information over here.
Okay.
And then the first thing we run into is a bunch of demons at the gate.
Well, I will tell you that your forces did a pretty good number on knocking down Asmodeus's reserves.
I'm glad to hear that.
Like, they lost a lot. To the point where those currently usurping the Black Fortress are, I don't want to say they're on the ropes, but they are definitely operating with smaller to skeleton crews at the moment.
Wonder how long that'll last before they get more people.
He points to a map on the wall, which is in fact a map of the fortress itself. I will pull up for chat.
Yeah, that says Jesus. That is fairly solid.
Okay, so you can see where the gate is on the east over here, where the main thoroughfare on the east side is.
Yes.
So you can see directly below that on the wall there, Fountain View. So you can get an idea for how many of the other maps fit in this city.
Yeah, we're not even close to like a quarter. We're down in the like 5% level.
There are currently 9 lords within the walls. They've divided the city between themselves, and each one has a different district that they oversee.
Okay. So they're not a unified force,
Well,
unless you send an army after them, and in which case that probably will make them a unified force very quickly.
There's something interesting about the way that devils operate. They generally don't work well with each other. They're creatures of a backstabbing nature by their own nature.
Gotcha. So trust is a little thin on the field here.
And because of that, they only really work together when forced by a higher devilish power. For this reason, they are somewhat scattered and constantly vying against each other for power.
This is starting to sound more and more like gang warfare on a much larger scale.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes, what you're familiar with from the outside of the wall is much larger and much more powerful on the inside of the wall.
Yeah, this sounds a whole lot like a bunch of different guilds having a field day with each other.
It is just cranked all the way up.
Yeah.
And it's not good for the city, and it's not good for the people that live here.
People you're trying to protect.
Exactly. To be honest, I have an oath. My oath is to the maintenance and security of the Black Fortress and its citizens. They're not citizens. I don't care if they are forcibly removed from the city. Actually, you hear him try to say this and then kind of stops and like winces a little bit. I very much care that they're forcibly removed from the city.
I very much prefer violence in their case. Got it.
I have an idea on something that we can try, but I'd make no promises as to what would happen. I can merely try and contact someone.
Okay. What are you thinking?
Because if you're telling us that if we're at mostly bare bones here, we have a way to send a letter faster than normal. That might make that information usable by people on the other side. Now, I have no idea if you will like that idea or not either.
I do not trust that your countrymen have my country's best interests at heart.
That is fair. This is why I said that I don't know if it was going to be agreeable or not. Now, there's not enough of us to be able to actually forcibly eject them.
Agreed.
Now, we are small enough probably to be able to move around a little bit easier because there's not a couple people can get slipped through.
And you have, and this is Blaze stepping in. I'm just going to point out that they've already shown themselves to be very aggressive in dealing with problems that have terminal solutions.
Hey Blaze, what was the name of that chicken demon that flew away from me because I was beating the crap out of him?
Oh.
Boldface.
I'm not sure that I have it written down where I can grab it at the moment, but she gives you the name, you relay it to him, and he's like, yeah, he is a bone devil. He's a moderately ranked Asmodean officer.
Yeah, he was flying through in one of the patrols that we ran into when we just were about to actually come through the gate.
Okay.
Breaking the wall. And he did not have the most pleasant of times, let's put it that way.
So he's likely to know that you guys aren't local.
He is likely to know that we're not local. You are correct. So that is part of the reason why I'm bringing him up is because if you can tell me where he is located or what section of the city he is supposedly in, normally we might be able to do things in other areas where they're less likely to know where we're at.
I can tell you exactly what section of the city he's in. And I can also tell you he might be one of the easiest ones to take down.
I was Thanks. I was hoping that was not the case, but okay. Now, what section of the city would he be in?
He shows you on the map, and it is a area of the city that is on the southern cut. Like, basically there's 4 areas to the inside of the city that are broken up by 3 thoroughfares. There's the northeast, northwest, west, and south. He is in the south, kind of farthest to the west. So, one of the farthest areas from where you currently are, but I mean,
Gotcha.
eh.
Yeah, so he's further west than like the southernmost road that looks like it leads to a coliseum.
Yeah.
Like he's over. I'm assuming this. Like for me, this looks like a cemetery or a
That open area right there. Yeah. If you look at that pie wedge that is just south and right of that open park cemetery thing, that's his district.
Gotcha. So like, just going off of this being a massive city. This is going to take us a couple days at least just to even get there, right?
I mean,
because we're not going to be able to move fast because we're going to have to be sneaky. It's not going to be one of those ride a horse there.
It depends. If you rode a horse there, you could probably get there in an hour-ish, hour and a half. If you're sneaking through buildings, it depends on, speed of clank.
I seriously need to get him oiled armor or something. Or we're just going to have to stick him in a wheelbarrow and, drag him along. It'll probably be quieter. I take it then that for us to actually get over there and have a conversation that might or might not be rather aggressive with him, I'd probably be passing through a couple of other people's territory.
Most definitely. Now, I can tell you exactly why Blaze wanted us to have this conversation. She just smiles. You are outsiders, and by that I mean people who aren't citizens of the city. You live outside the walls. Eastgate would count as outsiders. I can give you and your crew a letter of marque to operate in the city and in the surrounding area outside of the city.
Okay.
When you go through the walls, 20% of anything that you take out of the city, you will be taxed.
See.
Other than that, it will appear to everyone else that you are operating whatever form of business you choose to be operating. Mercenaries are common, and sellswords are common, especially because the Asmodean legions don't trust each other. So the best way to protect the 9 lords from getting assassinated by the other 8 is to hire people that aren't devils.
What lord would have the most problems with our friend that we just spoke of? And I don't mean like him disappearing, but would be happy that he would not be there anymore. If you can answer that.
I mean, arguably, pretty much all of them, because power vacuums create opportunity.
Right.
I will say the one most likely to want a power vacuum opportunity would be his neighbor just to the north, Urzul, because he'd be the closest and could mobilize the fastest to try to take over that territory and add it to his own. So if you wanted to try to do any internal negotiations or see what you could do, I would say he would be the one that you would most likely want to talk to.
that, or you could also make it look like he's purposely trying to create one.
That too.
Because that would also thin the herd, for lack of a better word. I think I know at least one or two people who have come with us that would be okay with helping with this particular problem.
All right. Then
You said 20%, correct?
yes. Don't worry. We have a means of scrying the correct amount. Nobody gets cheated.
Okay.
So discuss this quietly with your people.
Yep.
Come
I will.
back some point today. I'll leave notice with my guards that you're to be let back in if you come alone or with one other person. And when you show up and tell me what name you want for your crew and give me the names of the people in that crew, I'll prepare a letter of marque for you.
Okay. Yeah, I will get that information for you, and I will most likely be me and one other person.
Okay. Blaze? Yeah. If this goes wrong because you misjudged the talents of your fresh mercenary faces, I will personally dismantle Fountain View brick by brick. And I'll use it to make a mausoleum for your 3 remaining friends. Am I perfectly clear? Yes. Good. Then we're done here, and the 2 of you can get out of my office. He turns, walks back to his desk, and as he steps off the dais, the dome collapses.
Gotta say, that is not the most comfortable feeling.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't. Anyway, we will now skip to, unless you have any conversation you specifically want to have with Blaze on the way home, we're going to skip to about a half hour later, and you'll be making it back to the base.
Yep. He would not be having an extremely long-winded conversation with Blaze because he has a lot to digest from this.
I'm
And
sure.
He also is now about to have to try to explain everything that's going on.
Okie doke. Cut to being back. Okay, so we're coming back from break, and Ace is having an issue, so he's going to be joining us in a minute-ish, sooner or later, or something. Anyway, we're just going to assume that his nose is in a book or he's taking a nap or whatever when Luther makes it back to the base.
Okie. So it's been, what, less than an hour since Sally left? Or...
Yeah, it's probably...
I'm just seeing how much time we have before they have to leave to go to the market, which is at 2.
Well, is that noon? Noon to 2.
I'm so sorry.
And
noon
it is
to 2.
right now probably around 10-ish.
Okay.
So, got a couple hours.
So, Luther comes back. Does Blaze stop in with him, or is she going to go back? Or
I mean, she's at the door if anybody wants to grab her real quick. But her intention is not to come inside.
well, if I see her, I'm, if I'm aware she's there, I will invite her in. She doesn't have to come in or not. But I'm just like, hello, how are you? You tired? You want to come in? Put your feet up. We haven't done a lot of cleaning yet. There's a lot of blood.
Not right now. I've got, some things that we have to deal with back at the base, if nothing else. So.
Okay, thanks for
Yeah.
bringing him back in the same number of pieces that he was in.
Blaze, real quick.
Yeah.
There was a gnome that was here.
Oh yeah, good question.
A what?
A
Halfling.
gnome?
Halfling.
Halfling.
Nope. Tiny person. Big
no, sure.
blue hat.
Pointy ears or non-pointy ears?
Pointy.
No.
Yeah.
Said her name was Sally Sparklehands. Is this a good person?
Sally Sparklehand. Yeah, we've worked with her before.
Okay. Yeah, coming around
So-
to seeing if we are
Okay.
in want of
So
things.
what does she do? She offered services, but was kind of vague about that.
Structural integrity and reinforcements.
Well, not so much like reinforcements as like making sure your roof doesn't fall in. More,
She
No,
finds the
defensive.
holes that people can sneak into and blocks them.
yeah, pretty much.
This is not one of those cases of, hey, we paid a person to, stuff up the holes in the base, and they just left one that they can conveniently open at any time they feel like.
Yeah, no, she's
She said she was an independent agent.
yeah, in more traditional adventurer terms, I believe she would be called a trap setter or a sapper.
Oh,
Except,
she makes the doors that bite.
yeah,
I am familiar with this particular field of business, but from a slightly different perspective.
yeah. So she's good and she knows people, so she can make she knows her way around. We'll put it that way. I mean, if she's offering to work with you, she's expensive, but you can trust her. Welcome back, Ace.
Hello, sorry.
No worries. So we were just discussing the fact that Luther just made it back, and Greymane and Twiggy, Vanomoth and Twiggy asked Blaze if they were familiar with Sally, and Blaze gave an endorsement.
Gave an endorsement? Okay.
Yeah.
Okie doke. You'll have
She's
fun
gonna
now. See
set
you
us
later.
up the bomb on the base.
Yeah.
So is Blaze still with us? I apologize.
She's still at the door. She hasn't left yet, but
So when you're given an endorsement, how do we know, again, I mean, we just took out a band of necromancers, and I know there are certain magics that don't necessarily need the individual to be alive to tell and answer questions.
mhm.
And of course, there are other magics that force people to tell not falsehoods, tell the truth.
Luther literally is laughing at him as he says that.
And I'll
as
just
he's
kind of
walking
look
past
over and
him.
be like, okay, how do we know if we allow this individual to scope out the entire building?
Mhm.
How do we know that someone else won't get their hands on her to then know everything about this place?
I mean, I would agree that's a risk. However, she's really good at what she does, and I'm fairly certain that her place is a lot more fortified than anything that she does for anyone else.
Okay.
However, as far as if you wanted to check out, you get that kind of magic going and wanted to check any of the bodies that are still local for you, if you're looking for a mage for hire, I would say your best bet would be Borin with the Sons of the Dragon. We're on good terms with them, so if you tell them that I sent you, they probably won't shoot you. Oh, I should also say, because you're new here and you didn't see when someone did it with us because you were in the dining room, when you're approaching another crew's building, you want to have a red flag out. It means that you are coming to trade.
Okay, so red flag is trade.
Yeah.
What are the other flags that we should know of?
I mean, there's white and then there's black, but people generally don't bother with black. They just shoot.
Okay.
Why bother carrying a black cloth when you're already carrying the weapons to do the whack bonk with? Sure.
Yeah. I mean, a white flag means that you are, coming either to surrender or completely in peace with no means of doing anything. A red flag means you are coming without the intention of violence for trade purposes, and a black flag means you are coming with the intention of violence.
How many times have you actually seen a black flag?
Like I said, you generally just start shooting.
That way Blaze wears a lot of black. She's always intending a bit of violence.
I mean, dried blood is harder to see in black.
You should try under drying it in red, and that way it almost never shows up.
Pretty much. Anyway,
Yeah, we need to have a talk.
yeah, Luther needs to have a talk with you guys, and I'm not going to be here for it. So have fun, and I'll see y'all later.
Okay, bye-bye!
Boop.
Okay, what kind of talk? Is this the we need the dining room table kind of talk, or is this a little more formal and you need to sit down in the foyer kind of talk, or is this
do we
the
have
we need to go to the
alcohol kind of
kitchen and
talk?
see what... I've got some mead. We could go to the kitchen and I'll have a shot kind of talk.
Not technically that bad. I at least think some people will agree with this. Yeah. So, I went to talk to the Wallmen, otherwise known as the Drakes, and they have a more formal title I'm not going to remember at the moment. I will get back to you guys on that one in a second. But I talked to the commander of the East Gate, and I need to go back and talk to him again before the day is out. And I'm probably going to take one other person with me. Not necessarily have to, but it probably will. So we are, as you can guess, right outside the gate, and inside the gate is all of the demons that we were dealing with, or at least what's left of them. They are thinned out quite significantly from everything that we caught. And the captain of the guard is rather interested in making them thinned out more.
Ain't got no problem with killing more devils. I don't think Van has a problem with killing more devils.
I did not surmise that he would have a problem with it, or the psychic stowaway has a problem with it either. She's probably kicking, Cass in the back of the head, saying, "Get a move on" at this point.
Eh,
She's been fairly quiet, actually.
But the devil that we encountered at the gate when we were trying to cross.
Oh, the flyy guy. Mr.
Yeah,
Flap Flap.
he's
the
in the Fiend Chicken Shit. Yes, that one. He is in the southern, southwest portion of the town. So it'll take a little bit to get there, but he's probably not a bad place to start, seeing he knows who we are. So we get rid of him. We have less people who know who we are. But first things first, jumping back to the captain, he can give us papers that allow us to move around out here and inside the town. we would just need a group name, and basically everybody puts their name down onto it. And like what we are. In this case, probably mercenaries and sell swords are probably the easiest way to sell this. Because we're probably not going to be the most peaceable people when we're on the other side, I'm assuming.
It doesn't seem there's lots of very peaceable people over here. It's sometimes just surviving gets pretty violent, so can't blame them for that.
Yeah. So that is something that we need to come to an agreement on. Is what to call ourselves, and then once we do that, I can go back to the captain and have a conversation with him. But before we do that, we need to make a decision on how to move forward with this. Like, are we going to what's the right way to put this? Are we going to be going directly towards the devil in particular, or are we going to? Well, we need to stop at offhand. Like, I'm sorry, Beneth, but we really need to replace your armor. There's just no way around that. And I'm not just talking because it's rent. It's a giant beacon of cause trouble right now.
Okay. Just to be sure, what we want is Devil's Gone. Entirely, from the whole place, if we can. Hence the 9 pillars around the maps, yes? To do that, I think this place, this little jar hut thing, it's not a bad space. We're not very many of us. Probably not going to be able to get actual backup, but we might be able to make some friends.
Right.
Getting rid of a few devils here or there, I don't think that's bad, but I do ask, does that really help us to do that?
It helps us move around here for now.
Okay. And I agree, having a place that we know is safe for us, I could make any place safe if it's outside, really, for a little bit.
So,
but that's not going to be any kind of rest, recovery, or long-term anything. This is long-term.
Yeah. One thing as well. And we and the Fountain View are kind of being attached together in this. The Fountain View will not be coming through the gate, is my understanding. But if we screw up, the Fountain View will pay for it as well.
Oof. Well, that's what happens when you vouch.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I'm more leaning to actually trying to at least handle some of this problem before we go. Because I do not want to go back on my word.
That's bad hospitality, yes.
Yep. So, for clarity, because Cassidius would remember this part of the conversation because of his keen mind. Basically, your choice of options right now for things you can do would be going after the gnolls at the first pillar.
Yep.
Working on things in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Or exploring the area of the exploring the area around the city. Particularly, you had a lot of leads that there could be valuable information in the swamp, which was towards the northeast.
Right.
So that's not giving you guys any more information than you already had, but that's all information that I know Cassidius would remember that Ace may or may not. So I'm just floating that to him for him to do as he chooses.
I mean, I'd share it with everyone.
Yeah, I don't know. All of those is really, really big, and more than we have the tools, the supplies, or the anything else for.
Yeah,
So-
I will agree. Every single option is too big for you. So, pick one.
The reason why I considered this and agreed to help to an extent is because if we can get a foothold here, because the problem is we do not have a foothold. Yes, we technically have control of this particular building,
For today.
but without those papers, we have no ability to really move around here if we are spotted by the guard at all. Like we are sticking out like a sore thumb, and this makes it twice as hard for us to do anything. Because we still, as much as I want to go deal with these other problems, I want to have a place I can come back to if I really need to.
Yeah.
Because go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to agree. Going after the demon would give us a level of legitimacy for being here.
Yes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're going to pronounce in loud, booming voices we're going after him. We're going to have to play deals with the devil if we really want to play this game. Because if we just go through there like a wrecking ball, we're going to get massacred. We are only 4 people, occasionally 5 when, the psychic stowaway decides to show up and help, which she might be more willing to when the demons are involved. But I don't want to speak for her. And she's a bit on the scary side, so I also don't want to speak for her that. So I think we need to make the decision on if we are going to push forward towards one of those pillars before or after we help here at least a little bit to get some validity here. Because either way right now, this is a spot that we could potentially come back to. And if we help here enough, the captain of the guard is very much like us. He does not particularly care for his newish neighbors. Put it that way. As he
So
put
the guard
it,
is all about still serving the city, not about serving the devils.
He is here to maintain the walls and protect the citizens inside the city. He does not consider the fiends citizens of the city.
So that implies that there are still living people inside the city.
Yes, he had this city is. He showed me a map. This city is huge. This fortress is huge.
Ace, when you were doing your light reading earlier, at the time that the Crimson Dawn occurred, the population of the Black Fortress was around 1.5 million people.
Okay.
For Vanweth and for Morden and Greymane, it's roughly the size of Rome in its heyday.
So yeah,
Very big
this-
place. Big place.
this is a very, very large city. The city is actually, so you take Fountain View and Necro, the Deadites, because they're dead now. I don't care anymore. And the other gangs around here, and take that on a scale, times it by like 10, and that's what we're dealing with on the inside too. The difference is it's the fiends playing this game now versus the citizens. Talking to the commander, just to the north of Chicken Boy is another demon who will gladly want him dead. Mind you, technically they all want each other dead because they all want to rule the whole place themselves. But we can also use that as leverage if we want to try and strike a deal, or more preferably, in my opinion, use that as a way to get those two to start beating the living hell out of each other, and then we just wait until it's done.
So
Or, step in at the right time to deal with, one or the other.
DM question.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I was not there, so I'm going off of what Luther's telling me. But are there 9 demons ruling, or are there 9 dragon lords ruling? Because I thought the dragon lords were the humans that just, or not humans, but humanoids that basically started running this.
The Dragon Lords
did I
are
mess that up?
the Dragon Lords are the traditional rulers of all of the castles and fortresses
On
in
this side.
the Hagrelon Empire.
Okay.
You would assume that since the devils are an invading force,
They took over. Okay.
that they've taken over, and there is not currently a Dragon Lord for the Black Fortress, which would be also why Birdie was discussing the need for divine intervention vis-a-vis finding a Dragon Lord.
They're not with us right now. It's just us.
It's just
Yeah.
us
Correct.
four at the moment, yeah.
Now, if you want to have a conversation with them, you guys could go to their place and go, look, we want more information. And you could talk to Blaze that way if you choose to. However, that's entirely on you guys. You have that alliance that you can go talk to her in her office if you want, but you also could not. Like, that's
Right.
it's your
For
biscuit.
the party, help me remember the next time we do go talk to him. I'd like to know what would happen if a Dragon Lord showed up. Like if a Dragon Lord came about, do we need to prove it? How do we prove it? Like, do people just immediately rally behind them? Like, what happens from that? So help me. Or would I
You were looking into that. I will give you a investigation roll to see if you were able to research that information.
Still got a 10.
Hang on.
Okay.
Where is it?
Spending a fate point.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
All right. Spending a fate point.
I always forget about the fate point. I'm gonna spend a fate point.
Okay.
You got 3 of them. You might as well use one.
Much
Much
better.
Much better.
22.
Okay. So the Dragon Riders, of which the Dragon Lord is the highest.
Smoke me a kippa. I'll be back for breakfast.
All right, Elvin. Thank you. The highest ranked Dragon Rider in each city is the Dragon Lord, and the other Dragon Riders are basically the Lord's personal guard.
So a Dragon Lord has to have a mount to be proven as a Dragon Lord.
Yes. To even be a Dragon Rider, you have what's called a Dragon Mark. Now, the Dragon Mark will vary from rider to rider, but it is a shared birthmark or scar between the dragon and its rider. It is the lineage. It is part of the arcane link that bonds a dragon to generally a hereditary line in the lawful dragons, and sometimes hereditary, sometimes not in the chaotic dragons, because hey, we're chaotic.
So I apologize, and if this is something that I learned later, because this will be my main focus from Ace to DM.
Right.
This will be my, like, anytime I'm trying to do investigation, I want to learn more about this.
Okay.
Like, I want to dig into this. So is this something that can be gifted to somebody that it basically we have a ring.
If the dragons know how dragon riders are chosen, you have and have given that information to non-dragons, you haven't found it.
Okay. What I'm going to walk the DM through my thought process, because
Okay.
again, this is where I'm heavily going to steer my research into at this point.
Okay.
We have a ring.
Okay.
I don't remember, but I have a feeling that belonged probably to at least a dragon rider, if not a dragon lord.
I mean, that would make sense.
So, my thought process is, can we recreate it and create a dragon lord? Can we somehow find a dragon? I know that's next to impossible, but maybe somewhere they've got information on where the dragons used to be, etc., etc. I'm trying to see, can I make Gray or Twiggy or Luther into a dragon lord somehow? Because then if we can get a dragon lord, we have the whole city on our back.
Wait a minute. Twiggy wants a pet very, very badly. I don't know if you should make that pet a dragon, okay?
Hey, this dragon doesn't breathe fire.
That's
I
true.
think you're okay.
They breathe
No.
acid.
No,
It's
You'll just
arguably-
dissolve.
It's arguably the safest one for Twiggy to be around because it's neither a fire nor cold.
So, in my head, I am leaning very heavily towards trying to make Gray into one, or sorry, make Venwith into one.
Okay.
But that is
Not for a black
Again,
dragon, you ain't. You
heavily-
would absolutely just kill the dragon and die trying.
again, you get it as a baby. There's a chance. I know they're innately.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, I know there's innately leaning against, but again, my thought
Wait,
process
no.
here.
I'm seeing a small puppy that's just got horns like taped to its head, like a la the horn on the Grinch Who Stole Christmas and that poor dog who got turned into a reindeer.
All right.
And you're just like, here, have a black.
I don't want to say anything specifically because I don't want to give away any information.
Okay.
Um,
And again, if it's something I
But
haven't found yet, I haven't found it yet.
Ace,
Yes.
is everything on your character sheet current and correct?
Resistance. I believe so. I'm
Okay.
trying to scroll through real quick.
It doesn't matter. All right, you don't have to attune that item. Okay, never mind. I was trying to see if you had attuned to something, but you don't have to, so it doesn't matter.
The thing I got from Morden, yes, you do have to attune, I believe.
Which thing?
The dragon touched,
The focus? Okay. Because
Yeah.
I don't see a...
and I have attuned, but there's no attunement. I don't know how to attune.
Yeah, well, normally there's
in
a
this.
button where you have to click that you've attuned the item, and in this case I didn't see it, which is why I didn't think it was there. But this is
Oh.
one that we got from another source, so...
Yes,
Okay.
I am attuned to both the book and this. I have 2 of my
Okay.
attunement slots used up.
Okay. Fair. All right, so... And it is on your person.
Oh yeah.
Okay. When you discuss trying to make Vanwath into a Dragon Lord, you feel a searing pain on your hip and take 1 point of damage.
Yes. 19. Oh wait, no, I have temporary hit points.
There you go.
Yes, you
Good
do.
boy.
Yes,
And you have
do.
one less.
Ah! Now, I will say I didn't want to specifically out loud say I want to make you Venwith into a Dragon Lord.
Oh,
'cause
okay.
Nice.
All right.
To be technically,
That was
I
your
kinda
talking
wanna-
with me. Okay, yeah. So you can walk that point back. You're fine.
I kind of want to. I almost want to shove it in his lap and say, "Hey, you're doing this now." So I'm not necessarily telling him yet.
Okay. Then you didn't lose that point yet. But just so you know, the first time you mentioned that, you get
I'll
in the
take
middle
a
of your
point.
conversation, just scream in pain and take a point of damage.
Because I'll probably
it'll
discuss
happen.
it with. I was about to say I'll probably discuss it with Luther
Oh, yeah.
when we have time. I guess today or whatever when we're separate. But
Mm-hmm.
right now I'm trying to keep my plan
Okay.
hushed.
Okay.
But I'll remember to
Yeah.
burn myself later.
Okay, good. Yay.
But again, just as player to DM, anytime I'm really doing research, I'm really trying to figure this out.
Give me one more. No. Yeah. It's going to be a higher DC, but give me one more One more investigation check.
I don't like it. I'm using my other fate point.
Okay, doke.
I want this knowledge, dude. Come on. That's much better. 23.
You beat a 20. Because there would have been some conversation or information about them because they are loosely affiliated with Fountain View. And they've been brought up a couple times, so they come up in conversations. You would remember that one of the other gangs is called Sons of the Dragon.
So I gotta slaughter them all so I can get the eggs. Got it.
No.
And the leader of the Sons of the Dragon, because of your stupid feet, I love it. Don't worry about it. The leader of the Sons of the Dragon is a man named Bryn Apkinwin.
Yes, he's the mage that Byrne was recommending.
No, that was Borin.
Boren. Oh, but he was from that group.
Yes, but he's from that group. So the leader of the Sons of the Dragon is named Bryn Apkinwin.
Okay.
And Kinwin was the name of the Dragon Lord that you had researched.
Okay. Well, shit. So we'll have competition of trying to bring back a Dragon Lord.
Or help.
Yeah, but help. I mean, again, if it won't be our party if we get help. There's no way the kin of a Dragon Lord will say, unless he hates his father because his father punished him and now he wants nothing to do with the family business. He will probably want to take over, but that is a conversation that I probably should have with him.
But yeah, if what we want is for the devils to get gone bye-bye, putting a Dragon Lord back in charge of the city means the devils go bye-bye. Yeah, whether we are that Dragon Lord, not likely, or we help find the next Dragon Lord, okay, that's much better. Then we're friends.
True, because again, there were 8 Dragon Lords.
I thought there were 9 Dragon Lords. Well,
Or was there? Well, no, I'm worried that
there
the
was
9
one for each of the things on the
city.
map around. Right? There
There are 11 Dragon Lords.
Okay, 11.
One of each color. And
Okay.
and something called the Emperor of the Skies.
So
There are 9 pillars, and
Okay,
there
that's where I
are
got the
9
9
demons.
devil lords currently ruling the city.
Gotcha.
So, again, next question. Were the Dragon Lords peaceful with each other while they were in rule, as long as, obviously, stay on your own turf, stay on my turf, we're good? Or were they constantly battling with each other, trying to take over turf?
I mean,
There was chaos dragons
it's a
involved. with here.
feudal empire.
Okay.
They're about as peaceful and or openly violent as feudal empires ever are, which means some states are
violent when they can get away with it.
Well,
yeah.
Because now the question is, can we convince him if we help him achieve Dragon Lord, will he pull somebody with him?
Right.
That's
mean,
I think that's now the debate is. I don't think we're going to be able to pull. I don't think we're going to be able to pull it off on our own. If they already have, because they're going to be the ones that have the secrets.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll stop researching at this point
For now.
for now.
Still, if we need to answer the Keeper of the Watch or whatever, dude, and give him a message and a group name and our names, and sign up to be mercenaries. Does signing up to be
Yes.
mercenaries mean we actually have to take jobs here, or does that just we call ourselves mercenaries?
Mercenaries take work when they feel like taking work. I mean, technically, a mercenary group can be drafted, sure, but at most right now, I think the demons aren't gonna really care, and he's already talked to us about this, so I don't think he really cares. And honestly, he recommended we go with the sellsword or mercenary group because it's going to give us the most leeway to roam around.
Okay, then I think the last thing we need is a group name.
Divine
Yeah.
intervention.
That's not probably a good name to start with.
Yeah.
Think about what we're fighting, Kaz.
Hey, that's the point.
Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
but we kind of don't want them to come
I
after us.
I don't think that
Yeah.
was Cassidius. I think we had a dia just come out his mouth.
Probably.
Fair enough.
All right. Hear me out.
Hey, knocks on his head. Hey, Adaya, whenever you have the take control of it, can you like raise his left hand or something? Like give us a sign.
We're pickles. No.
We are not
Okay.
pickles.
You're
We're
not
pickles. We are salty survivors who are going to get the job. You need to pickle something to change everything about it. We're going to pickle this city.
No
pickles.
pickles.
Yes, and the place will be the pickle jar. Hello and welcome to the pickle jar. It's very tasty here. It's very good for you. Yes, we're pickles. Do you have other
No.
suggestions?
Pickles.
That's it. You're getting pickles in your food from now on.
I like pickles, so
That's
it's
good.
fine. But I am not going to be in a group called Pickles. I'm sorry. We are not serving food to the world here. As much as I know you would probably love that, but right now, no.
You have no idea what kind of peace I could bring to everything if everybody would just sit down and have a nice meal together. Everybody would just have a chance to chat, and everybody would have time. They wouldn't have time to talk over each other because your mouth is full of things. So you actually have to listen while you're chewing. Works.
I Twiggy, I don't think you've been in enough rooms with large amounts of people who are eating at the same time. There is a whole lot of spittle and wasted food because of that.
Not very wasted my food. It's too good. Nom 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 nom. You have to shut down, eat
What-
with your mouth closed to enjoy the food so that one person is talking at a time. It's amazing. It's good. Good enough food can make miracles happen.
Yeah,
We're
they'll
back
roll
to the
out
divine
red carpet
intervention.
for you, and then someone's gonna mess with your food. And
Oi,
I'm
oi,
sorry.
oi, oi, oi. No,
Hey,
then I
Venwith.
have to whack them with a spoon.
What I'm not sure if it's a sore subject or not, but what was you were the hold on, I actually have this as a note. Hold on. You were the company of the Valiant Light, right?
Order of the Vigilant Light, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I read it wrong. What if we just go by like the company or the syndicate? Just a group of people with a common goal.
The company
I
sounds
mean-
good.
The company.
I mean, I do like hospitality. A little bit of company in the hospitality. It makes it not so lonely. I
The
could get
Pickle
behind that.
Company.
No, we're not being the pickle company.
That is so good, yes! That's my Vanya. Yay!
And
in the
on that
corner.
note, we're
We
going
are
to
not.
end this chapter here with the group apparently in the next bit
We-
being signed on as the Pickle Company and Cassidius' screams being heard from across the globe. So I want to thank everybody for watching this segment. If you're watching it on YouTube, please be a good werewolf, like and subscribe. If you want to watch these games, we do this campaign every Tuesday on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern. Another campaign on Thursdays, probably a little bit earlier than that. Probably starting by the time this goes up, maybe. If not, just come and check me out on Twitch anyway. I would like to thank our players, Lost Without a Trace, Scorched Ace 97, Greymane Gaming, and Morton 56. For this segment, and for everyone here in the Twitch room, hang tight. We'll be bouncing back in for another one. For anyone else, like I said, if you're watching this on Tuesday or Thursday, come, feel free to stop by. If you're watching it any other day, like, subscribe, tell your friends, come by when you can. And until then, we're going to give everybody a stupid wave, and I'll catch you all next time.